Those of you on my channel who play Piggy know that Piggy has a mode called Build Mode that will let you build anything you want with the events that are already there. You can't make up your own events, but there are events there. And you know that there are some things that are in the actual game that are not in build mode yet. So here are multiple things that are in the actual game that the developers can do for the new chapters and updates that we can't do for our new build mode maps. First, we have the build mode enemy creator. Most of you may not know what this is at all, but in Epic Tank's concept game, there's something that was supposed to get added into Piggy build mode that was allowing you to make your own Piggy character, kind of like in Piggy AARP. I don't know why they don't just let Tenuous Flea or whoever created Piggy AARP to just grab the skin creator and slide it into build mode. I don't know why they don't just do that. But in the concept game, you can make your own build mode enemy as the bots with customizable heads, colors, and all that stuff you would see in Piggy AARP. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, go to Piggy AARP by Tenuous Flea, I believe, and then I think you should see it somewhere. Make sure you spawn in the area where you see Mr. P and stairs. The next one would be the move block, which would allow you to move blocks in game. How this would work is that you would, when this block is powered, you could move it to wherever you'd like. I'm guessing this would work similar to the build mode cutscene, where you can set walk to points for the characters. I assume that's how that would work. I'm assuming you would just build more blocks in a different place, and then whenever the block is powered on, it would just move to the new area. The reason you would need this is for special cutscenes, like if you're trying to make a block, if you're trying to make something block a pathway, or trying to do something where when you enter a new area you can't go here just yet, or if you're trying to do anything special at all where you want the blocks to be moved in game as maybe a cutscene or whatever you wish, you would do this, because you cannot move the blocks while you've started the game. You can move the blocks, delete them, or do whatever you want with the blocks when you're building. When you start the game, only thing you can do with the blocks is make it disappear and appear. That is about it with that. Another thing the developers can do involves doors, which would be to allow doors to stay where they are instead of the usual disappearing when unlocked. Whenever you unlock a red key or any key door that's not powered on by a switch or a button, but that is powered on by a key or by another door opening, then the doors will just disappear. They won't open, they'll just disappear. And what I think needs to be a setting for this is, since the only setting that is for the doors to be to change the door style, because there's in the previous chapters there's been different door styles, and that's the only setting they have for the doors. I think the new setting would be if the door stays in place or if it disappears. And what also I think needs to be another setting for that would be for the lock to just disappear and for the door to still function like a regular door. Because even with this being a setting, the door would just stay open, or it would be able to stay open and still be open and shut just like a regular door. This would allow for more maps like Decay and more customizable stuff in the game, and overall a better build mode experience. But if you thought that meant the video was done, nah. Next up would be the jump scare. Well, in the game, what you can do is you can put down the bones trap anywhere. Problem is that the bone trap is very easy to see unless you have very dark lighting, and you don't want to be placing no-clip blocks everywhere, because then people think they will have to jump over it and they will just jump over the bone trap anyway. So if you want a different way to be able to jump scare players, then, well, you're just like me. Because I want to create horror maps. In my alternate realities shows cases of my maps, they're just regular old Piggy maps like house or station. They don't have any scary parts to them. And since part 5, the one that hasn't released yet, is going to be scarier than the rest of them, I would rather scarier things to jump scare players. Now, the bones trap does not have a setting to which character jump scares them. It's just set automatically to Skelly, and you cannot change that. Well, in this new update, it would completely remove the need to put jump scare traps anywhere. You would just need to use the jump scare link. How this works is when this is activated, it will jump scare either the player or everybody in the server. And this would make for fun and scarier maps. And well, we haven't exactly seen this too much in chapters, but I know once you finish the playground puzzle in Decay Delirium, you would get a jump scare from the phantom decaying infected. And this would be similar to that, only you would get a jump scare from any character in the game you want. And whenever a new character in the game gets released, then you have a new character to jump scare players with. So of course they would have to go back and add every single character for this. But I mean, if they were going to add the customizable character enemy creator, you might as well get ready to update a whole lot of the things in build mode every time a new character releases. Have you ever wanted to make the screen go pitch black, even removing the abilities and the crouch button from the screen? Have you ever wanted to do this, but you don't know how? Well, this would be easy. You could either make some fresh screen thing, or build a black chamber to hold the players in to make it look like the screen is black. Although this wouldn't work for people using third person because they can still see themselves, and it still wouldn't work for first person users because they would be able to see everybody else in the server. And this would be a fail. And also trying to build enough chambers to hold everybody in. That way they all can have a black screen moment, even while this wouldn't really work in third person. Well, you have just the problem as I have. Yep. But this can all be fixed with a simple link, the blackout tool. This could either black out everyone in the server, select people, or just the person who turns on this link. This would be an easy way to make the screen go black, and of course this would have customizable features to either remove different buttons on the screen. You can enable it where it removes the crouch button from your screen and makes it completely black, and removes all the abilities from being visible on your screen, as well as anything else that may be on your screen that I may be missing like that. One thing we did get in one of the new content updates, not new, but one of the content updates we got to build mode, that added linkable doors to where you can make it to one door opens and then another one opens. Since the doors are linked, they both open at the same time. And you can make it to where they even open if they are different colors. Different color locks. Well, one thing they did not add, which I also think we need, is the linkable keycard doors, which would work exactly like the linkable lock doors. Instead, they're keycard doors and they require different things to open them. This would be the same thing and work the same way. And one less thing to add is the door type, because we have not seen different variants of these doors at all. Have you ever wanted a door that stays open or stays unlockable for a certain amount of time? Or a door that just doesn't open once you've powered it on or something like that? Well, this would be the stoppable or blockable or unopenable doors, whatever you want to call them. This has settings to either stay locked and unopenable at the beginning of the game all the way to the end, or to be able to open the door after the door has been powered on, to be able to not open the door after the door has been powered on, and those would be the basic settings. I don't know. You can add other settings like what door style you would want them to be. And that's about it for that. There's a new door style in Piggy, which I also wanted to include in this video, which is the decay door style, which is basically a plain brown door, not like the ones from House or anything, but these are different. These are kind of, you can't see them very well because the decay is dark, and these doors are shown in the mansion, not the medical school, but the mansion. And these are found all around the house, and they would be another good door style. Now, I found another thing in decay that would be a great thing or a great style for the whole game. This would be a game changer. This would be the great decay style. How would this be a game changer, and how would this change the game? Well, this would be basically the decay UI, but in build mode. This would mean at the bottom right of your screen, there would be the whatever 2 items you have. If you only have 1 item, there will only be 1 item to show. Similar to how in Decay Part 1 and 2, this happens. Because you can see when you have the crossbow and no other item, that's the only item that will show up in your inventory. But there's another item, the name of that item will show below that, but if you click that, the other item will show, and so on and so on. If you play Decay Part 1 and get used to the inventory controls, you'll understand what I'm talking about, and you will understand that this will be completely different. This would also change the crouch button and make it look different, as well as this would make the abilities look different, and there would also be a mode on there to completely remove all of the abilities. I think there's already one there, but yeah, it would just make everything look different and add decay UI. As well as the new thing I would want to get added would be the decay option on the lever, to be able to make it decay style. What does this mean, you may ask? This would just mean the lever would look like in the puzzle where you're trying to get the burlap bag on the floor to make a hole in the floor so that you can crawl through the vents. You have to press the lever to, I think, get the claw to grab onto the burlap bag, and then bring it up. So this would just change the design of this switch. It wouldn't do much, but it would definitely make for a different style. Speaking of burlap bag, that's the next item that I would like to be added into the game. You know how the keycard doors we got in build mode were nothing like the keycard doors we'd ever seen in Plant and any other chapter, because we'd never seen them anywhere? Well, that's what I expected the burlap bag to be like if this was a concept. Since the burlap bag is dropped down with the lever claw, and since crash blocks would be destroyed by the burlap bag, but most crash blocks are like right side up instead of facing downward. Because what you're trying to do when you're dropping the burlap bag is you're trying to get it to destroy something that's down. But most crash blocks are not down, they're facing up. So they're like a wall. So in order to do this, there would be a also new event or leak called launch. You could launch the burlap bag straight forward until it hits a crash block or anything else that I'm missing that could be enabled, as well as item triggers for if you want the burlap bag to do something else. So yeah, the launch and burlap bag. Another event that was supposed to get added but never got added was the candle or web event. This one was on one of the streams that Epic Tank had while he was making some build mode events with viewers. So he did not add the candle web event to the build mode, and I want him to add it. Please, yeah. If I make this video any longer, I can't. I can, but I don't want to. So if you guys did enjoy this video, there will definitely be a part 2. So subscribe so you don't miss out on that. For those of you who don't play Piggy, you should. It's a very good game. Yes, it has a whole lot of drama around it because people keep hating on skins that didn't get added into the game, that they really wanted to get added into the game, but they couldn't get added mostly because the developers say they couldn't get added, such as the Bonnet skin. The Bonnet skin moves so raggedly and weirdly, it would be hard to animate that and add that into the game, and as one of the developers say, near impossible. And when they didn't get the skin, they started ranting about, oh my gosh, this chapter or this skin was not what I wanted, da-da-da-da-da. It sucked, da-da-da-da-da. Don't worry about that. It's nothing. It's just some people that are trying to, or not trying to, but are disturbing the gameplay of the game. I made another video saying that I would never play Piggy again. I specifically said I was not going to play Piggy again because there are too many hackers and glitchers, and I played that for like 15 minutes, and there were 3 glitchers. And even when it took so long for me to become the new skin in Piggy because I was trying to make a video on it, and when I finally did become the skin in Piggy, I only got 1 kill, and then I managed to find a glitcher yet again. So that's why I said I was never going to play Piggy again. I am going to play build mode and new chapters when they come out. I just won't be playing the regular game to be playing the regular game.